Hey everybody, Morgan SLV here. Today's date 3/18/2011. Gold 14.19, up $8. Silver 35.12, up 40 cents. You know, one of the things that I like about the volatility is the fact that if you don't study, you know, it'll take players out of the game. It'll take the weak players out of the game, which we all I think can agree on. That's why I suggest you study your butt off. As usual. One of the things I want to do is I want to show you one of the things that I make my kids do quite often is give me what's called a Schiff report. I'll just watch his blog, his video blogs, and this one's particularly important, I believe, because it talks about Japan. So I'm going to let you guys take a look at this for a second, and then I'll get back with my commentary. Check this out, guys.
National media has done a very good job of covering that angle of the story. I want to focus on the economic aspects, and there the media has not done a good job at all. There's very little understanding about the economy and natural disasters, and in particular, what's happening in Japan. First of all, there are plenty of pundits on television who are saying, aside from the economic, from the human toll, this is an opportunity for growth. This is going to be a boom to the Japanese economy, because after all, they're going to have to spend a lot of money now to rebuild what's been destroyed, and it's the rebuilding that creates the economic growth. Now, this is complete nonsense. Henry Hazlitt did a good job of disposing of this in Economics in One Lesson with his broken window fallacy. But the idea that your economy is improved because you have to use resources to replace what you already had is sheer nonsense. I mean, yes, the Japanese are going to be very busy devoting scarce resources to repairing infrastructure and replacing structures that were demolished. But those resources might have been used to create new products, new goods, new services, to build new infrastructure, to add to what they had, not simply replace what they lost. You see, the economists who think that natural disasters create a boom simply look at the jobs that they see that are created by the disaster, but they don't see the jobs and the economic activity that doesn't take place because those resources were now used to repair damage done by a natural disaster. I mean, if we think that an earthquake is such a good thing for the economy, we can replicate an earthquake without having to suffer any loss of lives. We can randomly select a city in the United States to destroy. We can give the residents ample warning to clear out, and then we can send the Air Force in, and we can carpet bomb the place, and we can reduce it to rubble. And then we can have all the economic benefits of an earthquake without any of the human suffering that goes along with it. And, you know, maybe as an added bonus for all the residents whose homes are destroyed, we can assure them that we will replace their homes with newer, nicer homes with more amenities, so everybody would end up being a winner. I mean, the whole thing is complete nonsense.
So I think you guys can tell that you know, I'm a Peter Schiff fan. I like the way that he explains things. You know, the whole idea that you're going to be able to suffer an earthquake, have a nuclear meltdown, and suffer a tsunami, and all of a sudden all of your economic woes go away. I think you can see by now that that's you know, the thinking behind that is, you know, Keynesianism, I guess. You know, it certainly has nothing to do with a calculator and a sheet of paper and a frickin' pencil, right? So one of the things that I wanted to talk about, you know, that's one thing that I wanted to talk about. You know, Peter Schiff, I think, hit it right on the head. And one of the things I wanted to talk about, too, is what a bank run is and what the banks can do about that. So take a listen to this. Several techniques can help to prevent bank runs. They include temporary suspension of withdrawals. Now, temporary suspension of withdrawals, what does that mean? Like a bank holiday, right? Now, imagine you have to make your house payment, buy gas, food, and whatnot for the month, and your bank says, not now. Yeah, that'll get you a little upset, right? The other thing that cracks me up is they can use protection of deposits through the FDIC. Well, they're broke. So how does that work out? So, you know, these different things that I see on here, hyperinflation is very high inflation, or it's out of control inflation. So what are we all going to do when the S hits the fan? You're going to have to rely on your metals. That's why I suggest you guys get 90% silver. I have nowhere near enough. I've been looking at eyeballing a quarter bag of dimes, and I suggest you guys kind of do the same. It's one of those things where so many different things are happening so fast that you really have to choose, your battle lines and get ready to take care of your family. So those are just a couple of things that are on my mind today. Let's see if I can get through a joke of the day. And let me turn the camera this way, see if you guys can see me here. Focus out a little bit. Okay, joke of the day. So a man and a woman go to the doctor. The man is very, very ill. He can hardly talk. His color isn't good. He hasn't eaten in days. And the doc kind of looks him over real well and tells the man, I want you to sit tight. I'm going to go in the other room and I'm going to talk to your wife about your situation. So the doctor takes the wife in the other room and he says, look, here's the bottom line. Your husband is gravely, gravely ill, and I can tell you without a doubt, within a month or two, he will pass away unless you talk to him like he's the greatest champion that you've ever met, unless you tell him you love him every 2 to 3 hours, unless you fix the exact meals that he is looking for and keep the liquids up, unless you give him hugs regularly, have the kids come in and tell him what a champion he is. If you do that, he'll pull through. So with that, the doctor leaves the room. I'm going to let you go talk to your husband. She walks in, sits down next to the husband, and the husband says, well, what did the doc say? He says you're going to die. Morgan SLV out.